everyone. This is Dr. Carmen Bryant. Welcome back to Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. Today is, December 26th. And so I wasn't able to come to you guys yesterday during Christmas. I left early and came back really, really late. So I wasn't able to come on live. Couldn't record anything because by the time I came in, meeting at 1, meeting at 5, and then I was trying to get some sleep. And so, but I missed you guys, and I know that a lot of you, this was your first Christmas alone. And so a lot of you now can look back and say, wow, you made it through your first Christmas, no matter how hard it was. It's like a drug addict. This is my first Christmas drug-free. This is my first Christmas narc-free. You know, some of you guys didn't know what to do with peace and quiet. Some of you guys have never had peace and quiet, and you guys actually had peace and quiet. Didn't know what to do with that. You know, some of you guys struggled. Some of you guys, it was hard. And the more you sat by yourself, the more you sat alone, the more you preoccupied your mind with thinking about the narcissist and all the things that you've been through. You know, what I really highly recommend, and especially going into 2020, you know, in 2020, those of you that follow my mentor under Helen Sadler, Destiny Helper, on YouTube, or those of you that also follow the church, she is the presiding prelate of Into His Chambers Global Ministries. You can find her on Facebook, and you can also find her under Apostle Helen. I think Apostle Helen or Apostle Helen Sadler. But, you know, our motto is we will build, we will finish, we will prosper because we are victorious. That has to be something that you say on a daily basis to yourself. I will build, I will finish, I will prosper because I'm victorious. You've had a narcissist that has downplayed your abilities, who has, he or she who has told you were less than, has messed with your self-worth. You know, a lot of you are stepping out of these relationships and you're beginning to realize that you were the sole provider, you were the one that managed this, and everything that they've said about you, you have to remember that they are abnormal individuals. They have an abnormal personality disorder, and everything that they say and everything they do is reversed. And so everything that they say that's negative about you, look at yourself for just a minute. A lot of you guys have prospered. A lot of you guys have done way better without the narcissist in your life. Now, some of you had become dependent on that narcissist, and they made sure that financially you became dependent on them, emotionally you became dependent on them. But if you look at yourself, a lot of you guys really, you made it. You did it. You're sustaining yourself, you know, and it wasn't because of the effort of the narcissist. It was your own effort. Now, for some of you guys, you know, for male and female alike who were, you know, house husbands, housewives, you know, those of you that were stay-at-home moms or stay-at-home dads, you know, remember everything that they did it on purpose. There was a reason why they did it. They didn't do it just to do it. They did it for a reason, kind of held you hostage, you know, made sure that you didn't have enough to sustain yourself or to leave. They'll find any kind of thing, anything that they can find to try to hold you in there. They always have an ulterior motive, you know, as to why they want to be with you. I always tell the story, you know, you have those that want finances, you have those that may want the prestige, they want the recognition, they want to be associated with you. They're like your groupie. And once they get connected with you, they try to find a way to lock you down. And a lot of times they may lock you down with like these big investments, you know, realty, homes, you know, businesses, you know, whatever they can do to lock you in where it's not easy for you to just get up and go. And you can't just get up and go, but they lock you down financially. They lock you down, you know, and you can't just get up and leave. You are like connected to them. If they've been with someone who escaped from them, the way that they think is the next time I have to come up with a different plan to make sure that this person cannot escape. That is not that easy for you to escape me, you know, and they do some very devious, rotten things, you know. But in 2020, for those of you that have gotten away, make a vision board. You know, in my belief system, it's, you know, write the vision and make it plain. You know, that is a business plan. That is a vision board. Write a vision board. If you want to write a book, my big sister told me, she says, you know, when she was writing her book, she says, every day take 30 minutes to write something. For some of you, you'll get into writing those 30 minutes and you'll find yourself writing for hours, and if that's the case, roll with it. Some of you guys, I don't even know what to talk about, do Roman numerals 1 through whatever, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then write the topic. This is what I want to talk about. This is the introduction to what I want to talk about. This is what I want to talk about next. This is what I want to talk about next. This is what I want to talk about next. If you're writing a story about yourself, make sure you talk to a publisher, because you can't write a book about a person that is still alive, because you can get sued, and if you're telling your story, you're going to have to, it's like my publisher told me, you're going to have to change the locations, change the names of people, right under a fictitious name. Just like in the Harry Potter series, the author changed her name, and it was a writer's name. Change your name, have a writer name, ghostwrite, someone will ghostwrite for you, but, change the identity of the people that you're writing in the book, change the location, you can still tell your story, but you have to remember that when the person is alive, you can't write about the person without their permission. You can't tell their story because they're a part of your story. You're telling your story and your reality, but you need to be careful, because when you're dealing with a narcissist, narcissists don't have a problem with trying to sue you, and making your life miserable because you're telling the truth, so if it's writing a book, put it on your vision board, write a book, and then, under the put the name of your book, put the book, and then under that write, these little goals. Every week or every day I'm gonna write, or if 30 minutes a day is too much for you at that time, then what you do is, like, every other day I'm gonna write for 30 minutes. Every other day before I go to bed, I'm gonna write for 30 minutes. Every other day, 30 minutes. You put 30 minutes, and then give yourself a goal. Give yourself 6 months to write the book. I'm going to write the book in 6 months. I'm going to write the book in 12 months. Don't rush yourself. Pace yourself. In 6 months, I'm going to write my book. And you can, as you start writing it on a daily basis, you'll know 30 minutes, how far are you getting? Don't go overboard. Talk to a publisher, find out how much it costs to publish, investigate all that, and then begin writing. And sometimes they'll check on you and see how you're doing on the book. And they try to, get you to come up with a plan, how long, it took me 5 years. And I know my publisher's like, is she ever gonna print the book? Is she ever gonna do anything? And finally I did. I finally completed it. I had to keep going over and over and over the book again. And sometimes when you're going over your book again, you're reading the book over and over again. You already know how the ending of the story is gonna be. So if that's one of your goals, let's say if buying a car is one of your goals, what do you need to do? What bills do you need to pay off? What do you need to put aside? Do you want to start a saving account? What do you want to put aside? You want to buy a home? What do you need to do? Because some of you guys, were stripped of almost everything. What do you need to do to build yourself back up again? What do you need to do to become independent again? You may be living with family or friends or whatever. I need to get this kind of job to make this kind of money to get this type of apartment, or in Great Britain it's called a flat. To get a flat, I need to put this amount of money aside. I need to put this aside for transportation, and I need to put, this is what I need to do, and to start working toward getting a house, or, whatever it is that you're trying to do. Put your goals on a vision board and do it. Another thing for those of you that are single for the first time, take the opportunity. Now, some of you guys may be able to afford to do it on a weekly basis. Now, some of you guys are on a budget, or you may have children, so maybe once a month, unless you can afford more. Once a month, find an expensive restaurant, dress up, go get valet parking, and go take yourself out to eat dressed up. Once a month, maybe go somewhere. I think someone on here encouraged me. They said that they went to Vegas. I'm not a gambler. I used to work at a casino, so I'm turned off by gambling. I don't gamble. Never have. Never will. But just I think it was the Venetian Hotel. The Venetian. Someone told me it was the Venetian, where they had like massage therapists there. They had like the waterfalls, and the rooms were set up a certain way. And so maybe do is it a staycation? Do a staycation. Leave on a Friday. Enjoy that Saturday there. Just sit in the room, look out, take pictures, walk around, take yourself out to eat, get a massage, then fly back home on a Sunday. Relatively inexpensive. It's usually not that expensive to fly into Vegas, because they want you to come because they know that you're going to spend money. So why make it super expensive for you, unless you're coming from out of country? Why make it super expensive to come to Vegas when they know for a fact that you're going to put money into the casino, which some of us won't do, but, or find somewhere else to go. Maybe go to California. Those of you that are not in California, go to California and get you a hotel on the beach. Get you, is it Airbnb? Get you one of those. Go stay and just walk outside and touch the sand. Go to Panama City. Some of you guys, down on the south, or go over to Virginia Beach, wherever. Go into a mountain. Go find a cabin. Go find a log cabin in the mountains and go there, fly there for a day or two or a week or whatever. Go find something to do. Go eat seafood. Go take yourself out to eat the seafood. Go sit at the waterfront. Here in the Seattle area, we have the waterfront, and there are hotels, and there are also restaurants that sit on the water looking out into the water. Go to the movies once a week. Find something to occupy your time. You're having to change old habits. You're having to change, you're starting new, what did I say? You're starting new traditions. You're starting new habits. Some of you guys don't know what color you like. You don't know what clothes you like to wear. You don't know what kind of hairstyle you want to have. You don't know what your house or your apartment is supposed to look like. You don't even know what kind of car you like. You don't know where you like to go. You don't know what you like to eat. Go discover yourself. You should not be, guys, I don't want to say you can't. You should not try to jump into a relationship after coming out of this kind of relationship. That's just like going into the hospital and having surgery and coming right out of surgery and then going swimming or going to play sports or going to hang out. You need to rest. You need to recover. This is not a normal relationship like most, well, we don't even know what really normal is. But other than toxic and abusive, those of you that are coming out of narcissistic relationship, you're coming out of relationship that was abnormal. That was not a normal relationship. That person had a mental illness. Mental illness doesn't always look like what it sounds like, a mental illness. Some of you are expecting to see people, salivating, can't speak, with cognitive or intellectual delays, severe, and it used to be called mild, moderate, and severe retardation. Some of you are waiting to see someone schizophrenic or in a catatonic state. You're expecting to see them hallucinating. Well, a person with an abnormal personality disorder, like narcissistic personality disorder, they blend in with society. They blend in, they mirror people. They're like androids that pick up on people's behaviors. How do they talk? Those micro expressions, those, and they watch people and they blend in. And so they look very normal until you've been in a relationship with one and you find out how abnormal the relationship is. Some of you have come out of these type of relationships, whether it's been family, long-term family, and this, even though it's uncomfortable, it is your normal. And so what is abnormal becomes your normal. And so you're drawn to that abnormal. Though you don't like it, that's all you know. That's what you've come out of. That's all you know. And so I always encourage you, get counseling and rediscover yourself. Redefine yourself. 2020, a new year. I don't believe in New Year's resolutions because I break mine all the time. There's certain things that I say that I will do. I will do this, I will do that. I will expand this, I will do this, and I will do it. But I don't give myself a New Year's resolution. Well, this year I'm starting on the 1st, and I'm going to go to the gym all year round. Yeah. How many of you guys are still in the gym? I'm waiting. Exactly. Some of you guys are. I'm not downing you. Some of you guys are kind of athletic, but how many of you are still in the gym and you said it on the 1st of January, you're going to do it and you're going to stay consistent with it and you fell off, right? I don't give myself New Year. I give myself goals. Give yourself goals. What do you want to do? How do you want to do this? Go into the New Year. Some of you guys do it. Some of you guys don't. Go into the New Year's with a clean house. Before you go, a clean house. And I'm not saying that some of you are nasty. Some of you might be hoarders. I don't know. But go into the new year with a clean house. The house is clean. I don't know where you guys go for New Year. Some of you guys will be in the church for New Year. Some of you guys will be, at the countdown at a club or at a bar or a family's house or out doing fireworks. Who knows? But whatever you do, clean your house, make your house smell good, make it smell fresh and everything, so that when you come back in the new year, you're coming in a different ambiance, a different atmosphere. It feels good, and go into your house, afresh. But for 2020, find something to do. Stop thinking of relationships and start thinking about yourself. Set goals, get a vision board, house. business, those of you that are wanting to go into coaching, and those of you that are wanting to go into counseling, though, set up a goal for education. And I say over and over again, I think someone chastised me while I was on here. First of all, it is very rude and very unprofessional to go onto people's YouTube channels to try to solicit people that they have built a relationship with. And I think the gentleman said that I sound very controlling. See, that means that you have yet to heal and you don't know the difference between control, confidence, and business. Because in a business atmosphere, you would have a problem with a lot of business people and a lot of military people. Because in a business atmosphere, the boss tells you what to do. The boss is going to set out the guidelines. And even though YouTube is free and everybody can get on it, each person that does YouTube, if they're doing it for a business, they are selling themselves on YouTube. So those of you that are coaches, you have to be prepared. You're going to get negative and positive reviews. So a lot of you that are looking into the coaching field, going onto YouTube and start doing YouTube, you set your boundaries. You set the rules. And the rules that I have when you come onto YouTube is, number one, if you're offended at something that I said that's professional, there's not a problem with you addressing it. But what you do is you don't disrespect me or you get blocked. Number two, never go to people's YouTube channels and solicit the people that they have worked for, because these coaches and people that work on here work very hard to win the trust of the people that they're talking to. So it's not right to go onto someone else that has a large number of followers and start soliciting yourself and putting your links up there. That is professional. Now, if you find that controlling, you need to find another YouTube channel to go to, because of the fact that that's professionalism. And I'm the boss of what I do. And so I find that very disrespectful. I will not do that. If you have 100 to 200,000 people, I'm not going to just put my link to my YouTube channel on yours or try to convince you to come over to mine. That's lazy. That's lazy. So those of you that are looking into doing that, never ever do that. That's very rude. That's lazy. And that shows that people don't want to work. People that have gotten a large following is because of the fact that the people have won their trust. That is not a control issue. That is a professional issue. And that is something that we learn professionally. Those of you that are into professional, and that's just like coming into my workspace. And I tell you where you are and are not going to stand or be, because I run that business and that's what I do. So you have to know the difference between control, confidence, and business. That's what it is. That's how we do it. And you don't come on to the YouTube channel. That's just my channel. And you don't come on and start downgrading or berating people. When I notice that people are berating people, especially if I have, we have, I don't know you all, but we have built a relationship, a tribe relationship with each other. And I notice people that are new that starts berating people that I'm accustomed to talking to, or making, because some of you guys are very wounded and very hurt. And so I come on there and I make sure that you're not re-injured, and we've been working together for a year, meaning tribe-wise. And a lot of you guys I'm familiar with, I'm accustomed to, I know how you guys talk. I know how you guys joke, and it's fun. And to have someone come in and all of a sudden degrade you or have something negative to say, or the way that they respond, then I block them. And so what I'm telling you, a lot of you guys who are empaths, especially empaths, it makes it very complicated because you feel obligated to what everybody says. Don't feel obligated to what everybody says on YouTube. You're going to have people that are positive and you're going to have people that are negative. You're going to have haters and you're going to have supporters. You're going to have people that sound like they're educated and they sound almost ignorant when they're saying stuff. And then you're going to have people that are actually educated that don't mind helping you. A person that doesn't mind helping you is not going to blast you, publicly in front of people. When they do that in a public forum, it's because they want attention. Those that email you personally and say, hey, I thought about that. I've had a lot of, especially my family of millennials. They have, I have had people in private talk to me about like the camera, have talked to me about like lighting, thumbnails, they're tech savvy. And so they give me ideas, on, how to change the thumbnails, how to do this, how to be more exciting, how to I don't know, stop sounding so super uber professional and use my personality. And so when people do that in private, that means they're trying to help you. There's nothing wrong. But when they're doing it in public, and I'm just helping those of you that are thinking about going on to YouTube or podcasts, that are thinking about doing coaching, and when you're on YouTube, you're soliciting your business. That's really what you're doing. You're giving people advertisements, and you're working with people, and you're helping people, and they're learning to trust you, and you're building a reputation for yourself. These people are listening to you, and they're determining whether or not you do know what you're talking about or not. Do you touch my heart? Do you touch my issues? I don't go on and give you all the answers either, because there's still a business behind it. And that business requires you and I will contract together, and it's individualized for you. Likewise, for a lot of you that are wanting to do coaching, when you get on the YouTube, don't give all the answers, but you are advertising yourself where people can come on and make a determination whether they want to do business with you or not, whether you know what you're talking about or not. And if you don't know what you're talking about, people are not willing to invest. And then you do have to remember, those of you, for the new years that are looking into things like this, you also have to remember that a lot of times people don't want to pay for something that's valuable. And when I say pay for something that is valuable, you much rather go and put a 2022 Maybach, Lamborghini, what's another car, Bugatti, you want to put it on layaway for $20 a month. That right there shows that a lot of people don't understand value. And a person that understands the value of another person is willing to invest in that person in order to heal. You are your greatest asset. And you have to invest in your healing. You can't put a coach or a therapist on layaway, because they work very hard to bring you information and to build your trust. And so likewise, those of you that are wanting to be coaches and therapists, and those of you that are empaths and that are doing it, you have to be very careful, because you are moved by emotions. That's how a lot of you guys got caught up with narcissists too. You're moved by emotions. You have to be able to put aside your emotion and put business. Business is business. Let business be business. And when you come on here, you don't give everybody everything, or you're not going to have business. You want to work with people individually, and for some people that's what they do. That is their livelihood. That is totally their livelihood. That is how they survive. That's how, and they have something to offer, and then you invest in that. My entire livelihood is not coaching at all. It's actually mental health services in my private practice. So this is something I do on the side. And if I get clientele, from coming on YouTube, it's great. It's amazing, but that is not my livelihood. That is absolutely not my livelihood. So a lot of you that are doing that, remember, when you're giving the information, don't do it just because you're trying to make money off of people. That's not what you do it for. You do it because you love the people. But at the same time, people still need to invest. You can't pour everything out to everyone without allowing them to invest in something valuable. And if they don't want to invest, then they don't respect nor honor your knowledge, your skills, your education. So always remember that, especially my fellow coaches and therapists, and then also my sweet loving empaths. You got to be able to separate your emotions from the business, because you'll get drawn in because you want to save everybody. You can't save everybody. And if they're not willing to invest, you can't save everybody. You can't put the information out there. So this is all the information, I want to give you guys. I mean, it's not all the information. It's some information just for you guys to think, because a lot of you guys have been asking, how do you do this kind of work? What do you do? How do you study? How do you get started? And so a lot of you that want to get started in something like that, if you want to invest and you want me to help you do it, let me know, and I can assist you in getting started in doing something like that. And I could be your personal coach as you are beginning to build yourself. You just have to be open to constructive criticism, because I will give you feedback, and sometimes that feedback can be harsh. That's why I have a mentor, and my mentor gives me feedback. I don't need her to be in her emotions and be super sensitive when it comes to me. I need her to be straightforward, because your mentor cares enough about your future. Your mentor, your coach, cares enough about where you're going, and they much rather tell you than to set you up for failure and let you fall apart when you get into public, because the world or the public doesn't care about you the way that your mentor and your coach does. They want to see you successful. So they're going to tell you like it is, and they're going to help you. And sometimes that can be very painful, especially those of you that are coming out of situations of narcissism, because you're so accustomed to being criticized in a negative way. It wasn't to help build you, it was to tear you down. And so a lot of times you can associate that, or you do associate that with people that are wanting to help you. But you have to look at the character of the person and determine, this person really wants me to be successful. I'm having triggers. So some of you guys will have triggers because you will misconstrue constructive criticism positive to help you grow with the criticism you receive from a narcissist to tear you down. So sometimes it sounds very similar, but you got to remember that narcissist took something that was positive and turned it into something negative. So these are some of the things I want you to think about, for the upcoming year of 2020, which is just, let me count the days. It's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 5.5, it's 6 days away. You're about to enter into a new year, 2020. You're entering into the new year. And so right now you have a lot to think about. For those of you that are, wanting to do something new, wanting to start all over, you got to get yourself up. In the military said, we're going to grab you by your bootstraps. You're going to stand up, walk forward, stop looking down, look up, be confident, walk like you have a purpose. Stop looking down, hold your head up. Hold your shoulders back. Walk with confidence. Even if you don't feel it on the inside, you show it on the outside until you start feeling that on the inside. Positive affirmations. You guys write positive affirmations. Those of you that are not believers, just like my mentor said, those of you that are not Bible believers, those of you that are not Bible believers, you use your source of strength spiritually. You write positive affirmations to yourself. If you got to put it on the window, that is your positive affirmation for the day. You find a book that gives positive find a book or make your own book. If you write positive affirmations for yourself, some of you guys, that could be an idea for a book. 365 days of positive affirmations. What did I feel like today? What did I need to know? Let me go find a quote from someone, or those of you that are into Christianity, even Catholicism. Catholicism use Bible too. 365 days of positive affirmations or scriptures that deal with, a hurting soul, or bringing encouragement or bringing hope. Where do you find quotes from people? Put the quotes together, and every day there's a different quote that you have for yourself, and all day long you say that. All day long you say that. I walk around and I always say, now that I've learned it, I say, I will build, I will finish, I will prosper because I am victorious. My pastor introduced that, Apostle Helen Sadler. Those of you know her as Helen Sadler, Destiny Helper. But she introduced that, and that came from a speaking engagement that she went to in London. The Honorable Bishop Climate Wiseman, who introduced her to that saying, and she brought it back to us, and now we say that same thing. We will build, we will finish, we will prosper because we are victorious. And I live by that. And every time we learn something new, we add that to our repertoire of affirmations. What scriptures do I have to follow for that day? This is what I'm going to work on all day. This is what I'm going to say all day. This is how I'm going to encourage myself all day. Those of you that are not in the Bible, remember, go find some positive quotes, positive affirmations, write it in a little journal, carry a journal with you, because sometimes you may have to return back to the last one that you said. Put it on your window in the bathroom, and every morning you have a positive affirmation on that mirror when you get up, and you say that all day. That's your affirmation all day. You're going to be okay. You're going to make it through. It's a very painful process. And I think someone said that they've been grieving for 7 years. If you've been grieving and you still are going through grief and loss in 7 years, then it's dysfunctional, because no one can tell you how long to grieve. And the longer a relationship, a lot of times the longer the grief, the longer the recovery, because you've been in that relationship for so long. People that have been in a relationship for 20, 30, 40 years, you spent majority of your life in a dysfunctional relationship. And so you can't assume that in one day you're going to recover from this. No, because that's your childhood. You grew up with that type of trauma in your youth. And then you're looking back, I've wasted my time. I've wasted my years. I'm not young anymore. You are more mature, you are much wiser, but you look back at that, so you can't expect someone to heal, in a day or two. The longer the relationship, a lot of times the longer the grief. And usually within a year or two, that hard grief has kind of run its cycle. That doesn't mean that on holidays, birthdays, anniversaries, or anything like that, you may not grieve a little bit. This is a sad day of mourning for me because this is the birthday, this is the passing, this is the date of the death, this is, whatever that day is. Of course, you feel, you may feel a little blue, you may feel a little depressed and everything, and then you move on. But if you are still in that grief and loss process in 7 years, that is not normal. That requires counseling, because 7 years, you should not be that heavy in your grief. Most people that come to me that are stuck in the grief cycle, and it's been 7, 8, 9, 10 years, and they're still stuck in that grief cycle, I usually give them the 7 stages of grief. And we try to determine where are you at and how did you get stuck. And then I work on them exactly where they are at that particular time to process through that, because you have to feel, you have to be honest with yourself, and you have to process through that cycle. If you don't process it, you'll get stuck right there. And 7 years later, you're still stuck in between 1, 2, or 3 of the processes. And so if you've been grieving for 7 years, that is very dysfunctional. You need to get to counseling. That's why I tell you guys, if you can't right now, I am not accepting online clients through BetterHelp, but there is a sponsored link with my name, which is betterhelp.com or www.betterhelp.com/Dr. Carmen. You get a 10% discount, but when you click on that link, it'll also say if you're looking for, I think, a narcissist relationship specialist. I think that's the words that come up. And you can vet the counselor. You ask the counselors, it's a nominal fee, but you are worth the finances that you need to invest in your recovery. You are your greatest asset. I'm sorry. You are your greatest asset, and you are your greatest investment. And you need to invest in your recovery. Even if you sign up, pay a nominal fee. If you have financial difficulties, you let them know they do have grants that they'll work with you. But you need to, even if it's just for a month, if it's 1 month, or if it's just a few weeks of services that you want, sign up for it, get started, and then move on. Maybe get a coach, to help you with your goals, but some of you need counseling. You do. 7 years of grief, that requires counseling. You're stuck, and you need to get counseling to get you unstuck. It may be 1 or 2 weeks. It may be longer than that. The 7 years is too long to grieve. Now there is times where you may feel sad and you have memories and things remind you. Yeah, that's pretty normal. But if you're stuck in grief 7 years, that's not normal. That's not okay. That you're stuck and you need help processing you through the grief process. So hopefully this has helped you guys. I wanted to come on, and so I just did a little talking, a little chit-chatting tonight, just to help you think about 2020 as it's coming. I'll try to be back tomorrow. I will be in my office for a few hours. Then I have to take off and get back on the road again. So I'll probably try to post tomorrow or go live, one or the other. I'll try. And so I wanted to miss you. I wanted to say happy belated Merry Christmas. It was Merry Christmas yesterday. Happy belated Merry Christmas. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this tribe, being supportive, talking to me, emailing me, even leaving comments. I try to do the best that I can. I have my glasses now, so I can see. I don't have to wear. I'm supposed to wear them every day, but they told me I can limit it to wearing to the office. I don't want to make it worse. And so, but when I'm up close to the camera, I can't see the words, so I have to put on the glasses to see the words. And so I got some really good X-ray vision, so I can read your letters and look in your house. I'm just joking, but I can read now. Small letters on the screen. And so I thank you guys so much. I tried to do my best to read the comments and delete those that are just irrelevant. You guys don't get disturbed by it. Don't worry about it. And just keep going. You guys say what you have to say. If you want to respond to them, you can. If not, if I catch them, I'll make sure I take it off, because some people are just negative. Some people are just negative. They never have anything positive to say. They instead of just listening to the videos, they always have something negative to critique people about. That lets you know the type of people that they are. And then a lot of people want attention. So they say, you know, they get on and they're super intelligent and super educated and they're so smart that, you know, they have to make sure that everybody else knows they're smart. Pay no attention to that, you guys. And especially for those that are new coaches and new therapists, pay no attention to that. Keep rolling. Keep on doing what you're doing. There are people that are benefiting from what you do. And those of you that are new coaches and everything, you know, I go check out your channel. You know, now if it's whack, like the kids say, if it's whack, you know, don't ask me for comments because I'll keep it real. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Like if you don't, that's a hot mess. You know, what are you talking about? Yeah, I won't do it on a public forum though. I'll just let you know. Karma, go look at it. What? So thank you guys so much for letting me talk to you guys. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of your life. You know, for these holiday season, I get to come and pop in on a video and talk to you guys a little bit, give you some encouragement. So I'll be back tomorrow. I'm still studying the topic. I know I had a subscriber, a fellow therapist, asked me to talk about the narcissist and regressive behavior. So I am studying that, you know, because I want to, because it's a very interesting topic, you know, and I want to come on and just give you just something and insult your intelligence. So don't worry, I'm coming. I know you're waiting. I'm coming. So thank you guys so much. You know, please subscribe to my channel. This is Dr. Carmen Bryant, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. I am on Facebook. Make sure you hit the bell so you know whenever I upload a new video or whenever I come on live. I am on Facebook. My professional Facebook page is Psychological Health Consultants and Services. And then my book Facebook page is Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. I usually post on both of them. Sometimes when I do speaking engagements, whether it's like in a ministerial setting or in certain places, sometimes I won't post that on my professional Facebook page. So make sure you go to my book Facebook page. I'm also on podcast. If you go, I podcast, so I have to update it. I haven't added anything new yet, that you can go to Podbean. On Podbean, look for Overcoming Narcissist Abuse, and you can subscribe and follow me. Make sure so you know that whenever I upload something new. So the home site is Podbean. That's where I'm at, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. But you'll also find me on Spotify, iTunes. You'll find me on Google Play and iHeartRadio. And so thank you guys so much. Make sure you check out my mentor's YouTube channel. It is Helen Sadler, Destiny Helper. Make sure you subscribe to her channel. And she talks about narcissism from a biblical and spiritual perspective. And I try to stay more toward the experiential and clinical side of narcissism with a twist of reality in there. You know, I try not to sound so over clinical and try to sound so over professional. I try to break it down and put it into, you know, layman terms, something that's simple and easy to swallow and something easy to understand. So I thank you guys so much for all your support. Make sure you get my book. It's on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, and it is called Barnes & Nobles, and it is called Unmasking the Illusion of Perfection. True stories, true people who have been through narcissist abuse, have been groomed by their families, their children have been abused, how they escaped, the things that they were thinking. They had suicidal, homicidal thoughts, you know, how they were taught to think, why they ended up getting married to a narcissist, you know, all that stuff that you guys experience. Now, just to let you guys know, to those that were non-believers, that are non-Christians, I said read the book and get the principles out of it, the principles and the stories. You'll find yourself in there. But I do provide encouragement, biblical encouragement for you. So those that are not into Christianity, take the principles out of the book, because you will find yourself in there some way or another. And many people that are non-believers said when they read it, they found themselves in the book, and it gave them a sense of normalcy, because that is how they were thinking as well. And they felt normal, and they felt, affirmed. They felt affirmed and like, I'm not crazy. I knew other people thought this way. I knew it. I'm finally glad to read it. And thank you guys so much for the support. Hey, give it a stocking stuffers, give it as birthday gifts, donate it to a YWCA or a women's shelter, so that the advocates and the clients or the people that are living in there can read the stories, because everybody's not educated on narcissist abuse. It is domestic violence. It's just domestic violence perpetrated by someone that possibly has narcissistic personality disorder. And so the word is getting out, the education is getting out there. People are talking about it, but we got to get the education out there. We got to get the knowledge out there so that we can be more proactive. And judges can be proactive. The lawyers can be proactive. Medical personnel, church leaders, religious leaders, be more proactive in recognizing what they're dealing with, so that the person that's being abused doesn't keep getting re-victimized, especially within the court systems. Thank you so much for listening. You guys go and be great.